At Synaptiq, we've done a tremendous amount of work in machine vision, and machine vision is often used, especially these days, as a way to have a visual inspector that just never gets tired, right? So, you can imagine that if you're sitting there looking at a conveyor belt and there are widgets flying by, and you need to try and figure out if they're defective or not, that could be very tiring and you're going to be prone to error because you're not going to be paying attention all the time. So also these models can, for example, in the example there, manufacturers could find micro defects that are invisible to the human eye. And I know, for example, that defects in concrete and other building materials often show up in heat signatures that are not sort of visibly apparent, but can be detected with certain sensors. We built a system for central line dressing compliance. So sometimes when you go to the hospital, you get catheterized internally and you get a bandage put on it. Those bandages, though, those entry points into your bloodstream are very commonly infected. So, because you've got this sort of open access to the inside of your body, and you can get infections that cause lots and lots of deaths in hospitals every year. So, we looked at that particular problem from a machine vision standpoint. The idea being that you could train a model that says, here's a bunch of these central line dressings, and a doctor goes in and says, these are clean and compliant. These have particular kinds of problems, and we can enumerate the kinds of problems that they have, and then turn that into a mobile app. So, machine vision for detecting when things are going wrong in the physical world is a great application. We also did a project on computer vision for safety compliance in construction. So when things are being moved around, when materials are being loaded or unloaded, that's when a majority of injuries happen. So we built a system actually quite a long time ago. It was much harder back then for doing things like saying, hey, how many workers are there in the site? Where are they? And are they wearing their personal protective equipment? So does the person have a helmet on? Do they have a high visibility vest? Also turns out that in construction sites, sometimes the color of the helmet or the clothing tells you sort of what the role of the person is. And so being able to detect that is useful.